Luis Severino will start tomorrow for us. Um, really excited to give him the ball tomorrow. Feel like after some bumps in the road, certainly the second half of the season, he's turned a corner and really started to throw the ball better. I think he's ready for this. He'll be pitching on plenty of rest, and hopefully he can get us off to a good start tomorrow.
When did you actually decide, and what was the final thing that pushed that decision over the edge with the people that were in the room?
Yeah. So we met Saturday night as a staff, and Cash, came up to Boston, and we talked through it. A lot of guys had input on the decision and had reasons why one way or the other, and I just kind of took all that information and slept on it, and felt like at some point Sunday is when I decided for sure that I wanted to go with Sevy in this game, and that's where we're at with it.
Who else? Right in the front, Neftali.
How you make a choice? It was based on the previous result in the playoff, based on what he's doing this year, and at the same time, I would like to know from you, what is the difference being playoff as a New York Yankees manager and being as a players?
First of all, everything goes into the decision. Performance, experience, stuff, opponent, all those things, all of it goes into people's input. But I just felt really comfortable going with Sevy and feel like he's going to get us off on a good note tomorrow. And I can't wait to see him go do his thing. As far as the difference, I guess I have to let you know in retrospect. You have to ask me that down the road, hopefully in a little while, hopefully a good while down the road. This is what you play for, an opportunity to chase the ultimate prize, and we have that opportunity. That's what you play for as a player. That's what I'm in it for in this seat, and we have a special group in there that I think's capable of being a really special club, and now we get to go find out and chase that down. And so I'm sure there's a lot of similarities, from the excitement, the butterflies, the ultimate in competition when you're going up against other great teams that are, playing for a lot. It's something that is a privilege, and it's something that none of us take lightly.
We'll stay in the middle.
Aaron, did last year's one-game playoff with Sevy weigh into the decision at all? Obviously, a short exit for him, and I'm sure Sevy wants to get back on the mound and prove that was just a blimp.
I don't know. I mean, I guess, I know he struggled, obviously, in that game, but I also look at it as one game, and again, what he was able to do going forward in the playoffs, and I just think, he's uniquely positioned as a young man in this game that has experienced a lot, and I think he's very equipped to handle all that goes with this game. I've talked about him a lot, and he's dealt with massive success. He's dealt with struggles. He's dealt with going to the bullpen. He's dealt with things this year as far as having the kind of first half he did, and then going through a few week stretch there where he struggled on the mound. So I think he's equipped in so many ways to handle this, and perhaps most importantly, he's equipped with amazing stuff and the ability to dominate big league hitters because he's such a talented pitcher. And again, I can't wait to see him go do it.
Sweeney to the right.
Aaron, which of your other starters are going to be on the roster tomorrow? How many pitchers are you taking total, and will you carry a third catcher?
We are carrying J-Hap, Masahiro Tanaka, and Lance Lynn. We'll carry 10 pitchers, and we are Higgy will be a third catcher on our roster. Yes.
Back in the middle again.
Aaron, is Sanchez going to be your catcher tomorrow? And if he is, there's been some disconnection sometime during the season with Severino and Gary. How confident are you that they've been able to work out those differences?
He will be my catcher, and I'm very confident. And those two are very close. So sometimes, some of the things they get into, that have been seen, I guess, is just two passionate guys, two guys that are like brothers in a lot of ways. And I am confident that they are in a good place, will be on the same page, and think they give us a great chance to win tomorrow night.
Barry and Ron, front right.
Hey, Boone. Do you have pitching set up for Boston in the case that you win?
No, because you never know what transpires tomorrow. I mean, we got to go win, and hopefully we'll be able to do that. And then when the dust settles after tomorrow night, who knows what happens or how that happens? Then you go from there. But first things first. Boston doesn't happen if we don't go out and take care of business tomorrow night. So we're with the starting pitchers that we do have on the roster, obviously tomorrow, it's truly an all hands on deck to try and win a game.
Ron.
That Oakland is considering going with an all bullpen game, as it has somewhat in September. How much does that show the way the game has evolved in such a short time?
Yeah, that's very true. Excuse me. We've seen, really over the last 5 or 10 years, just how big a factor the bullpen has been in a lot of teams' run to a world championship. And then I would say even over the last couple of years, and certainly this year with what we've seen from Tampa and other clubs, it's even gone to another level with how teams are using and how bullpens continue to evolve. So we certainly are prepared for that kind of scenario tomorrow. And we know the A's have a ton of really good arms over there that present a lot of challenges for us. And we'll just be prepared as best we can to handle that and to succeed. How does it change your lineup? Not a lot. Maybe a little bit with the order, just with, our righties and lefties and things like that. But I wouldn't say it changes our lineup that much.
Joel and Billy.
Aaron over here. Aaron, the fact that you're taking 3 starters in your bullpen, can you go through your thinking, and does that say anything tactically about how you're thinking about using Severino tomorrow?
Not necessarily. I just feel like it covers us in a lot of different scenarios. Only going with 10 pitchers, obviously in that scenario we have guys that are capable of giving us significant length if we needed to, if we got into an extra inning situation. Lance Lynn we probably view more in a traditional part of the pen role, as far as, with Sevy, hopefully he pitches deep into this game, and he'll, if he's pitching well, we'll have that kind of opportunity. But, obviously with our bullpen and what we'll have available at our disposal, we'll also be very aggressive in making moves or trying to set up the best matchups depending on the game.
Where'd the mic go? Billy? No, right here.
Hap has been your most consistent and your best pitcher the last couple months. On back-to-back games in Oakland, he pitched pretty well. Severino did not. Is this just a case of you betting on Severino's upside?
Well, first of all, the decision, as I've kind of talked about over the last week, we felt like was from a position of strength. And I felt very very good that it was a good decision in front of us. And Jay Happ is a very good decision had we gone that way. Same with Massa. Same with CC for that matter. But I guess in a way I'm going with what I believe Sevy turning the corner, and what I believe is when he's pitching at his best, he'll be the best pitcher on the field tomorrow. And I feel like he's ready for this opportunity, and I think he's very much looking forward to taking the ball.
Knowing that, this is just this is one game, but the team's goal here is obviously to win the World Series. Is Happ's track record in Boston, allowing him possibly to pitch games 1 and 5, is that a factor in this at all?
Again, it's about tomorrow for us. And, and the fact that Jay's on the roster for tomorrow's game, putting him in play, this is all hands on deck for tomorrow. And we'll sort out if we're fortunate enough to get to the next round in Boston when we get there. And again, I feel like with all of our guys, I think we're more than capable of, when we're playing well or at our best, we can match up and beat anyone. So we'll cross that bridge on Thursday morning, hopefully when we're still standing.
Matty Yoloff, excuse me, as far back as you can go on the left.
Hi, Aaron. How are you? Quick update on injuries. Hicks, Didi, and Torres?
All good.
Everybody ready to go?
Everyone ready to go.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
George King all the way to the right.
Aaron, 3 catchers is kind of rare. Would you defense with Romine or use him to pinch hit? Is that into your thinking?
No, but we feel like, obviously in a one-game situation, that not the need for as many pitchers. Tyler Wade will be on our roster as well. So, we would, I'd probably be pretty aggressive with a pinch run situation at any point, which maybe brings the second catcher into play, which brings into, if you wanted to hit for if you needed to hit for a catcher late in the game, you're covered there. So that's more at play with it.
Back right, Juliet. We'll take a couple more.
Yes, hi. You've had your home run moment in Yankee history. Today is the anniversary of Bucky Dent's home run moment. Can you talk a little bit about now, in your position, moving forward, being part of this history and what you hope to achieve?
It's certainly been one of the great privileges of my life to get to work for this organization now, and first as a player, and now to be able to manage this team, and understanding the great history that comes with it. It's not something I take lightly, and you understand what it means to put on the pinstripes and to walk out on that field with our fans. There's very few things you get to experience in life that will rival those kind of moments wearing this uniform. So, hopefully some guys will have some moments ahead of them as this month unfolds.
Tina, Bruce, and Vac, and that's all we have time for.
Aaron, with what you said about all hands on deck and just looking at this 100-win season and the Major League home run record, what kind of added pressure does that put on this game for you guys to live up to what was a great season?
Well, again, when you put this uniform on, that goes with the territory. And again, I view that pressure as a privilege, and we'll all embrace that and look to apply that to our opponent. And so, yeah, we've had a great season to this point, but that's now behind us, and the real season starts now. And our guys will be ready, and I look forward to watching them go out and do their thing tomorrow night.
Bruce? Bruce, you want a question? Go ahead. There's the mic.
What about for you personally, the challenge of a one-game, really winner moves on, loser goes home scenario here with so many variables and so much at stake? We could be looking at a long game, everything else. How are you approaching that aspect?
Just prepare as best we can. We just had our advance meeting with our scouts, coaching staff, support staff has been pouring into, all the things that hopefully can give us that little bit of a competitive advantage going into tomorrow night's game. And we'll be prepared and try to have a game plan as best we can. And then we go out and play. Once that bell rings, it's all the preparation is there for the players to go out, the coaching staff go play, and we'll do that to the best of our ability.
Vac has ceded the last question to Jack Curry. Jack.
There was some payment involved there. Aaron, I know that every pitcher is a creature of habit. It'll be 8 days between starts for Severino. Can you give some specifics about what he's done in the meantime? Has he had 2 bullpen sessions? When were they? Anybody face him? Any simulated game that we didn't know about? What has he been doing?
No simulated game, but we like the fact that he's pitched a couple times on the 7th day this past month. We think that's been beneficial to him. So now he'll be going on the 8th day. I believe he threw his most recent side on Sunday. So we feel like I felt this all along, when even when he hit a little bump in the road there, I felt like physically he's been sound all year, and I've talked to him a lot about that, and I think he's felt really strong physically and just needed to work through some struggles that that he went through, and I feel like he has turned the corner on that, but I feel like the extra couple of days is something that is beneficial, and hopefully it'll shine through tomorrow.